In this video, I'd like to introduce Internet Relay Chat, or IRC. That's multi-user chat that's commonly used for open source projects. You might be wondering, why do we have IRC? It's pretty old and crusty. We've got multi-user chat, we've got IM through AOL and Gtalk or XMPP, Yahoo Messenger, Skype, Google Hangouts, Facebook chat, all these different ways of talking to each other. So most of your friends are actually already on Facebook chat. Why do you want another chat system? In fact, the same reason that you would use Facebook chat is why you would use IRC for open source. Everybody you want to talk to is on there. In open source, the work that we do is distributed, and that's why GitHub is popular. It's why mailing lists are popular. It's why IRC is popular. Most major open source projects have an IRC channel on Freenode, which is one of the IRC networks. Here you can see that if you wanted to get help with Django, you could get on the IRC channel, and people would be willing to help you. So what is Freenode? Freenode is an IRC network that is a system of servers that are generally around one community. Freenode is focused on free and open source. There are many IRC networks for different purposes. So what makes up IRC? Any IRC network is made up of multiple servers which are connected as peers to each other. One server will talk to at least one other server, and all of the servers together are connected into a network. Anybody that wants to use the IRC network will be a client of one of the servers, and when they send messages, that server will relay messages to each of the other servers, and in turn to each of the clients that are connected to those servers. So once you have the set of clients talking to servers, forming a network with a community of discussion, how do you actually have the discussion? There is pound Django for using Django, which you can see here has 460 people on it right now. And then there's Django Social, which is just people who know each other through Django, and they're just talking about stuff as friends, not specifically using Django necessarily. Django Dev is a discussion for people that want to develop directly on Django to contribute upstream. And then Django Core is a list of people who are actually committers on Django for internal discussions. You can see that I'm on lots of channels, and in fact you can join as many channels as you like. The purpose of each channel is to focus discussion on that subject. So what I'm using here is an IRC client. You have a choice of various clients on each operating system. This client is called Textual. It works on Mac. It's available through the App Store for $6. And I will cover configuring Textual and several other IRC clients, one for each platform, in a later video. In addition to clients, there are also bots, which are programmable clients that are able to automate behavior. Here you can see ZenWraith bot has just congratulated Raython on doing good work because I told it to. Each of these channels has a number of settings available, which are created by channel operators. When you create a new channel, you are the owner, the operator of it, and you can then configure it further. If you join an existing channel, it's likely that it already has operators and they've already got control of it. Any new name for a channel becomes a new channel that you could moderate. On Freenode, the creation of new channels is limited to open source projects and other sort of blessed uses because they've got a limited amount of resources for IRC. So the sorts of settings that you can get on IRC channels are pretty similar to mailing lists in the sense that there are public channels, there are secret channels, there are private channels, and there are moderated channels. Moderated channels mean that only people who have the voice property are allowed to speak. Anybody could then join, but only voiced people can contribute to the discussion. You can see here that there are a lot of different people on the channel. This is a list of all of the people, and my nickname is JDunk. The name that you choose doesn't have to be a real name. Mine is first initial last name, but lots of people have nicknames that are just online personas that they've used for years, like Uber Nostrum, James Bennett. How did I know he was James Bennett? Well, you can do git info, and it would print out some information about his identity. So he's connected as james@blist.org, and his real name is James Bennett. You can see the list of other channels that he's on. That's actually a useful way of finding channels that might be useful to you. You're already on one channel, you're talking to this person about a thing. What else are they interested in? Well, maybe that's something you're interested in. You can see that he's connected to a server called Obana, which is in Romania. And he's been connected since March 24th. That's a pretty long time. Now I'm going to cover how to get connected to IRC. Suppose you've downloaded an IRC client. I'll cover choices of IRC clients and configuring them later. I'm just going to run through with Textual right now so we can cover how IRC work. So first we'll add a server. You can call it whatever you like. Since I already have a free node, I'll call this free node 2. You can pick your server from the list here. This client actually comes with a list of servers that it already knows about. And keep in mind it's calling it server, but really you're connecting to the network. And you can type a specific one. But what happens if that server goes away? Most networks will provide you with an endpoint that allows you to round robin to different servers. Well, how did I know that that was available? When I looked at Freenode's server lists, they said that their main rotation is chat.freenode.net. There are other things that you could use as entry points for round robin rotation. For example, chat.us.freenode.net is the list of only US-centric servers. It's kind of weird, actually, that James is connected to the Romanian server since he's actually in Kansas. Then you have the port, which is default 6667, but we're actually going to use 97 because I know that that supports SSL. By default, IRC channels and traffic are not encrypted, and so you should either be careful to say things that you're only comfortable being public, or you should use an SSL connection, which will encrypt your communication in transit to the server, but once it gets down to somebody else's client, they also could log it and make it public. So at least you'll know that getting to the server, it's secure, but if you're concerned about this, you should just talk about things that are okay to be public. So once we've chosen the port, then we can save and connect to the network. So what happened here? I was connecting to chat.us.freenode.net. I got a connection, it looked at my host name, then it tried to check my identity. There was a long pause there, I don't know if you noticed. It's no identity response. Basically it timed out because I didn't configure the client to give an identity. You can connect without a nickname, but that will limit what you can do on the network. Depends on the network what exactly you can do. Once a connection is established, you can register your nickname. Why would you want to do that? Well, when you use a new nickname, people will start to identify with you, and then you would like other people not to be able to use that nickname because all of your friends will think it's you. So here we're going to send a command to a bot named nickserve. Nickserve is used to register and identify as a specific person. By identifying to nickserve, you can prove that you own the nickname. So now we're going to register our nickname with the nickserve. You can see that my nickname registration is going to be confirmed through email. That registration email will include a code for you to prove that you own that email address, and that allows Freenode admins to contact you through a secure channel should your nickname ever be compromised. So now we're going to send a verify command for that same nickname and the code that they gave us from the email. You can see now that the nickserve is happy. It trusts that I own that nickname. Now if I want to identify as that nickname to the server when I connect, I can use the password that I used when I first registered. In this case, I'm already logged in. Okay, well you might have noticed that I was using a command message there. There are actually a lot of messages, or a lot of commands that you can use, and slash is the beginning character to send a command instead of a message. Slash help will give you this directory of instructions. So if you said slash help admin, it gives you help on how to do that admin command. What about help join? Join is what we use to join new channels. So if I said join Django, it opens the Django channel, and now I'm back to seeing all the people on here. You can see that there's a lot of people on the channel, but they're not all talking. If you just send a message right now, anybody that happens to be paying attention might respond. But you can also ask for the attention of somebody specific by using their nickname. What does it look like on the other side? Well, I got a little sound alert, and I got this message popping up. People's behavior of various clients will differ, but the main point is you can use a nickname to get someone's attention. If they're paying attention to IRC at all, they'll probably respond to you. When you're using IRC for open source discussion, you'll often want to include some example code. But we're just text-based. How do we do that? You can paste in some code to this site, dpaste.com, or any other site. All of these kinds of sites are just called paste bins. You put some text in there, you post it, you get a URL, and now you send the link instead of the actual code. That saves everybody a lot of text reading. If they're not interested in that message, it doesn't scroll for everybody. If they do click through, they get the full message. You can include files that way through Dropbox. You can upload files to GitHub and then link to your repository. Basically, IRC should be just used for the discussion itself. All the supporting documents can be linked